Yeah,
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
let's go. Uh,
I
Untamed.
need a little wake up in my life this morning.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up,
Good
wake up.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Going down right now. I did a little Sherman Wells wake me up this morning.
Man.
It's going down on a Monday, July 21st, 2025. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
And good morning to all. Hope everybody's doing good. You're tuning in. I see you people up already, man. Kimmer Snipes up early. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, Pops. Good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you,
All
Pop.
right.
Amy H. Dot in the house. Good morning, fellas. How's it going? How's it
Hey.
going?
Okay.
Hey, Amy, while we got you on here, don't forget we got the Chad Chimers kickback coming up. And we definitely want to hopefully you can come through in conjunction with Untamed Summer. Is going down August 3rd from 4 to 7. It's a Sunday. Hope you can make it. Hope this is for the Chat Chimers.
Man.
Old and new. So we hope everybody can come through and check it out. And I love that we're going to do it in conjunction with Untamed. Speaking of Sherman Wells, it's going to be a good time.
Hey. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna add something to it, man. Because I know they out there listening, not just the chat chimers, but the ghost listeners too, man. Ghost listeners invited to the chat chimers kickback. Might have to put a little asterisk and fine print under it, ghost listeners, welcome to.
We might have to put another party for that. Make a ghost listeners get down or something like that.
Oh,
No, two parties in the summer, maybe. See.
Okay, that's an idea.
Nah, I like to bring them on in too, because
Yeah, yeah.
ghost listeners listen, but sometimes they chime up every once in a while. A person that comments once every few months or something like that. Not really a chat chimer, but an active ghost listener.
Yeah.
So is what it is.
It's levels.
It is levels. Lots of people here in in the chat already, man. Everybody's getting up early with us. I appreciate that. Leia Keister, happy marvelous Monday. Marlon Harrison, good morning, First Guy fam, and happy motivational Monday. That's what's up.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I
what's
like
up.
that.
Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Good morning, Heather Williams. Also, Mark Manor gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. It's going down. Mark Manor, I heard today is the day that the what is it? The pumpkin spice latte or them pumpkin spice drinks. They're back today, and I thought of you when I saw the news, and I was like, I'm probably gonna leave that out, but specifically for Mark Manor, I think he likes it when the pumpkin spice comes back into play. So there you go.
Already?
There's
They
your
couldn't
personal
wait, huh?
there's your personalized news for you. It's going down. And it's going down here this morning. We appreciate it. Content Creators Camp fired up this weekend. We got the show on the road there. Dr. Carol Zugner dropped some gems. We'll talk about that a little bit today. We also may possibly have a special guest coming in today, and it'll be a surprise special guest, and we'll leave it at that. So you might want to stay tuned for the whole show because I think that we might have a little surprise for you. But in the meantime, between time, what's going on with you, buddy? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are you? Let us know how you're feeling out there in the blogosphere or whatever you want to call this, the chat. We appreciate everybody tuning in, waking up with us on this Monday morning. How was your weekend, man? Hopefully it was as eventful or maybe even more eventful than mine. A lot of things going on over the weekend. Text my pops trying to catch up with him. Like, hey, dad, what you got going on? He was down at the jazz concert. So if anybody made that, let me know how that went down. He said he had a good time. I am happy, man. I was expecting it to kind of be rainy on Saturday. It turned out that Saturday kind of held off. So
Oh,
for those of you that are out on the town, let me know what you did. I personally spent some time with the kids, man. I had a few things. Didn't make it to the Rice Jollof Fest yesterday. I know, Paul.
me
Yeah,
neither.
I know, man. But spent some time with the family, man. Took my babies to the zoo over the weekend. That was a good time. Actually, my youngest first time at the world famous Henry Dorley. And yeah, we're gonna have to make it a second trip. We didn't get to make it to any of the new exhibits or anything because yeah, the zoo is just too daggone big.
It is, and we moved to number one zoo in the world now. So that's what's up.
Really, is it?
Or in the
Yeah.
country, I should say. Yeah, yeah.
It might be the world, Craig. So we'll see. But yeah, had a good time with the kids over the weekend, man. Spent so much time just trying to maximize my time here in Omaha. I'll call it that. Haven't really been spending as much time with the babies. Been kind of leaving that to grandma to handle. But you know, and to that note, shout out to Mama God holding it down.
Shout
So
out.
yeah. Spending time with the fam. How about you, Paul? How was your weekend?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Spend a little time with the fam, but definitely had a lot of work to do this weekend. I kind of worked all through the weekend a little bit, but
That too.
yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I'm anticipating this heat coming up though. It's supposed to be super hot this week. So I have not been enjoying this humidity. So a lot of my stuff has been inside because I don't mind the heat, but I don't like the humidity.
I got a story on that real quick.
But yeah,
It's so humid outside, y'all. For those of you who haven't started your day, we usually don't do weather, but it is so humid already outside. My glasses fogged up as soon as I went outside. It was yeah. It's that sticky humid. It's that
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's highly uncomfortable. Highly uncomfortable.
Good way to put it.
And it's supposed to be really bad. It's actually like 98. We're supposed to get up to like 98 degrees today, but feel like 105, 106 with the
Mm,
index. It's going to be super super hot. So they're already. I'm hearing on the news already. Check your elderly parents and grandparents and make sure that their air conditioners are chugging along.
mm.
They're suggesting that people do as much inside as you can because of that. So lots going on. Linda Lathan in the chat. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning,
So yeah, you better if you're gonna get that walk-in camera, you better get it in now because it's supposed to
man.
be hot, hot, hot,
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
So I will be sitting here, just hoping that the air conditioner stays on. Something else we'll talk about this a little later on in the show, but when it gets hot like this, power systems be burning up and going down, and
Mm,
something happened in South O just recently with that as well. So you got to look
yeah.
out for that and make provisions. And I feel like we got to get prepared for that type of thing. What happens when your air conditioner goes out, or your elderly family members' air conditioners goes out? Where are you going to go? Where are the cooling stations at? We got a little bit to try to research here and try to figure it out and help each other out. So definitely check it out. Heather Williams says, "Yeah, the humidity is crazy." Whew.
Man,
Michelle Moreno says, "I had to work, and then Sunday was church, and 20 weeks of summer with the Wells. Man,
nice.
yes, I'm very happy what they're doing with that. The summer stuff that's going on with Untamed. I'm so happy that we're finally going to be a part of what's going on here with them on Sunday, August 3rd. They're having their Untamed summer. They've been doing 20 weeks, like Michelle Moreno was saying over there at the Assembly of the Saints. And I think it was RG in the chat brought it to our attention that we had our event, our Chat Chimers event, the same time Untamed was going on, and we decided to call Brother Wells and see if he let us join, so we can nobody had to miss anything. So everybody who's coming to Untamed Summer is also going to be able to experience First Sky Omaha Chat Chimers kickback as well.
There you go.
So yeah, it's going down. It's going down. Amy H. Dot says the this week is going to be rough. Yeah, the whole week is supposed to be super super
Man.
hot.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, man. Linda Lathan says, "Good morning. Yes, go out and get a battery operated fan if you don't have one." Oh, I didn't think about it.
okay. Okay.
Okay. Good idea. Good
Yeah.
idea. Also, Mark Manor says next week looks like it will be really bad. I will be in New Orleans, where it will be even worse. At least places turn on the air conditioner there. Man,
Mm.
New Orleans is gonna be swampy, bro. For real. For real, for real. Also, I saw earlier you gave me some news about that. I guess I got some fake news on that pumpkin spice. He says August 15th is when that's supposed to happen. So okay, as long as,
Yeah,
as long as you keeping track of it, bro. That's
I felt like the pumpkin spice was a little early. It's kind of fall feeling. You see the pumpkin spice coming out, you know what time it is.
I see people voting to have it all year. So I don't know. Kimber says that Louisiana humidity sits on you about 2 a.m. Ooh,
Mm, mm.
yeah, that's
Yeah, you
rough.
can have that, Mark. Good luck.
That's rough. That's rough. Yeah, appreciate it. Like I said, when we stop doing the radio, we don't really do traffic and weather anymore. But when it gets this hot and it's like it's enough for us to say to mention, have a plan if it gets
Oh
too
yeah,
hot in that house, man. For real, they said drink a lot of water and try to stay inside for most of the stuff that you do. Try not to go outside if you don't have to. And all week's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be record breaking heat this week.
really? Oh
Yeah,
man, we
yeah.
we supposed to double back to the zoo. That looked like I don't know.
They're gonna have to put them animals in there inside right now because it's
Yeah,
going to be
right.
bad. Be
Right.
bad. But anyway, in the meantime, between time, it's already 7:10. Appreciate you guys hanging with us and all the good mornings and hellos and how you doings with the chat chimers, as like we like to call y'all. We appreciate you guys joining us this morning on this Monday. Again, it's a Monday, July 21st, 2025. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, especially, it's easy to share it on your page and get as many people in and having a discussion as possible. And then also, if you're on YouTube, do us a favor, like and subscribe over there. We're still trying to build up our audience over there on YouTube so that we can do some things there too. So appreciate that very much. Let it anybody who you think is it will enjoy the conversation about local news and the things that are going on in our community that can have a good conversation with us. Bring them in, invite them in. We'd love to hear from everybody. We're trying to give everybody a voice here. So most definitely. And in the meantime, what's going? Like I said, one more thing before we get to what we're going to talk about today. Special guest. You might want to hang around today. I think that we might have a surprise special guest for you. And I can't mention who it is quite yet because it's still not confirmed they're going to be here, but we'll see. We'll see coming up in a big way. So check this out. It is the community updates time. I'll throw that. I'll actually I'll mention a few here before I throw the rest of the discussion over here to Buddy. But
Okay.
first of all, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who signed up for the Land Bank Ambassador program that closed on Friday. So if you happen to do that, let us know what your experience was on that. And if you become an ambassador, if you get chosen to become an ambassador, I'd love to hear from you as well. We want to talk about it more. Shout out to the Omaha Municipal Land Bank in a big way. Also, Swing Left Nebraska has their podcast coming up, Making Good Trouble with Jamie, Karen, and Thea. This is available wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to our chat chimers who put this on as well, man. This is a very great podcast that allows you to be able to learn more about the unicameral and our democracy here. Our strange unicameral that we got going on here in Nebraska that doesn't really
Man.
happen anywhere else. But you can learn a lot from this podcast. So highly suggest you check out the Swing Left podcast too. We appreciate that very much. As we mentioned a little earlier, Content Creators Camp is going on. It was started on July 19th. We had a pretty short amount of folks that came through this time around because we got to get with the people that got with us, and there may be an opportunity to jump in on this cohort. As a matter of fact, because I think a few people might have dropped out, but we got it going, and we had a really great session on July 19th. The next one will be next Saturday, July 26th. Let us know if you're interested, and we can talk to you throughout the week on figuring out how to get down there. So yeah, shout out to everybody who's been involved. Also, I want to give a shout out to the city who's still trying to do this lead remediation. You can get a hold of them at 402-731-3045. If you happen to be in a home, if you own a home, or if you are renting a home, even rental properties need this help. But if you think that you might have some lead in your yard, you definitely want to give them a call. They'll come out and do some testing. They'll assess the soil, but not just the soil, the paint on the house that you're living in. If they find lead in the soil, they'll remove it and then replace the grass and the soil that they took away. They also do a dust assessment as well. There's a lot of lead in dust. So if you have any fear that might be going on, we're trying to really clean this up especially in North Omaha. Everybody knows North Omaha has been kind of a industrial site where there was a lot of lead smelting and all kinds of stuff going on back in the day. And of course, now we're living right on top of that. So it affects us, our yards, our health, and our youth especially. Give them a call, 402-731-3045 if you want to get some testing, man. Testing and cleanup. So shout out to them for putting that down. And also, last but not least, man, Union for Contemporary Art. You got to get down
Mm.
with the Union. They have the new season happening right now. You can get season tickets. And they're starting looks like Tuesday, July 29th is when their season starts. They present the Native Omaha Days special event, Northside Carnation by Denise Chapman, our own Denise Chapman, and it's going to be starring Kathy Tyree. So yeah, they're firing up that Shirley Tyree Theater right there on the Deuce, and it's going to be great. Shout out to the Union for Contemporary Art for all the work that they're doing. Really appreciate the stuff that they're engaged in right now. So don't forget to check that out and get your season tickets and engage, man. Let's get to the theater. Let's get to the theater on the Deuce.
Man.
Big time. We'll talk about some more of those events a little later on in the show. Sean McCarthy in the chat says, "Yeah, lawn not getting mowed this week." Yeah, man. Let that grass grow, brother. It's too
Yeah,
hot.
man.
Kimber says, seriously though, she says, is the Chad Chambers event going to be at ALS, and will it be outside? It'll be half inside, half outside, and yes, it will be at AOS. We're going to have some grills and some food coming up. As a matter of fact, failed to mention this, but for the Chad Chambers kickback, we kind of wanted it to be a potluck too, and hearing a lot of Chad Chambers bragging about some of their famous dishes. So if you are so inclined, go ahead and get your famous dish together and bring it down. But Papa God is going to be on the grill, and this is what
Man,
I'm looking forward to. Papa God
yeah.
being on the grill,
That
and
part.
there's also food. There's also we're kind of mixing it up with the Untamed Summer, because they have a whole bunch of food that's happening as well. So we're mixing up a lot. We're, like I said, in conjunction here. So the Domino's. I know, Kimber, you worried about being the reigning champ on the Domino's table. So we'll definitely have a table on the inside for us to get down on some games and stuff like that as well. And I think a lot of this is going to be in the inside too, because I think it's going to be pretty hot by
Yeah.
next week or by that time. It's going to be hot all summer, but the beauty of Assembly of the Saints is we can be inside or outside or both. So yeah, for sure. Yep. So there you go, man. And right now, like I said, we'll get to some other haps a little later on in the show. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna be sitting. I ain't gonna just be inside. I'm gonna be sitting next to the vent where the air is coming. Don't worry about that.
All the AC.
With that, I'm gonna throw it over to Buddy. Let's talk about what today's topics are. What's the thread today, Buddy? What's in your mind?
Yeah. Well, actually, before we get to there were a couple of things I wanted to add, especially with the content creators kickback. Like you mentioned, there's still some opportunity for those who might be interested. And even if you don't get into this iteration of the content creators kickback, this is something that we ultimately want to do year round. So again, if you're interested at all, just reach out firstsky@gmail.com. Again, that's firstsky@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll get you straight. We'll get you straight. So again, big shout out to everybody who has already reached out, that is interested, in all the people that have also, spread the word. Even if you're not interested and you're helping with recruiting efforts, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you all the same. So with that, man, yeah, jumping into today's thread, and that's kind of actually a part of today's thread. We mentioned it and have been mentioning it really over the last several episodes, actually towards the end of last season, and several times throughout the beginning of this season, talking about the lanes of change, which is something that, again, Paul kind of coined, making a correlation between change and a freeway. And a lot of times we talk about change and activities here in Omaha, and recognize that a lot of things happen in silos. And we actually share this meme a lot, as far as we're not outnumbered, we're out organized. So this whole lanes of change is actually a project that we'll be working on throughout this year. And the idea is to organize the efforts, to recognize that again, we have enough to create change in the community. Everybody has a lane to cause change, and when we put those lanes together, as Paul mentioned, it becomes a freeway that can plow through any city. So that will be today's thread. We'll kind of be diving in and breaking down the lanes of change, and each lane correlates with the seasons or the themes that we have for each season. Again, we have 7 seasons, 7 themes, 7 lanes of change. So we'll be talking about that throughout the day. As Paul mentioned, we might have a special guest join us, so definitely look out for that. But as always, we always have special guests talking about you joining the conversation. So let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. Again, a lot of you will actually be mentioned, because a lot of you are already in your lane of change. Actually, I saw a comment from Kimra earlier saying that she tries not to do too much, but stays in her lane. And hey, that's enough. That's enough. She says, I've been trying not to show up everywhere, staying in my own lane. And I don't blame you, sis. You're doing a lot of work. The lane that you've chosen takes up a lot of work already. So again, we appreciate the work that you do and the work that everybody does. So we're going to be talking about it throughout today's show. And if you don't have a lane, maybe you can find one today. So again, we appreciate you. We're here for the next 2 hours. In the meantime, between time, we're about 15 minutes into this thing. A little over. How you feeling, Paul?
I'm feeling pretty good. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and jump into some of this conversation. Again, do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook, especially, and let people know that we're on YouTube as well. And let's get as many people in the conversation as we can. Meantime, between time, stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
This summer, North Omaha comes alive. It's the Native Omaha Days Festival, a week-long celebration of culture, music, food, shopping, and powerful community reunions. Join locals, new residents, and visitors from around the globe for the ultimate homecoming experience. Get in on the fun. Find event details, vendor info, and more at nativeomahadays.org. Let's make memories together at Native Omaha Days, July 28th through August 4th.
Welcome back. Speaking of Native Omaha Days, they're doing a street naming right before Native Omaha Days happens, and I think this is pretty cool that they're doing this. It's a street naming that will honor the two women who started Native Omaha Days, Miss Vera Johnson and Betty McDonald, founders of Native Omaha Days. They're going to be
Nice.
naming the streets after them just before the celebration, which of course returns every 2 years. Had a really interesting conversation with some friends of mine that were feeling that heard the show the other day and was talking about that. Yeah, shit, it was Native Omaha Day is a specifically Black holiday, really, for Native Omaha Days. When I was in California before I got here, I thought Native Omaha Days was for all of Omaha, but it really is really something that's really strong in the Black community. It was for us, by us, and it's a specific to North Omaha in particular. So
There
feel
you
pretty
go.
proud of that, and I love the fact that the city has decided to honor these two pioneers when it comes to what this whole idea of Native Omaha Days. And for those of you who don't know what that is, uh, it has to do with kind of like the brain drain. I always think of the brain drain that everybody talks about. People come up, they go to school here, and they want to get away from Omaha and go move and do something somewhere else, or maybe the industry that they're interested in is somewhere else. And they have to move out of town, but they do this very special thing of still keeping ties with people that are in their hometown, and they
Yeah,
come
man.
back every 2 years to celebrate with everybody in the Black community. So I think it's really, really interesting. And of course, it's based in North Omaha, which means it really is kind of just because of the nature of the makeup of North Omaha, it's kind of for everybody. But it's a very specific Black kind of holiday right here for North Omaha, and that's really where the parties and the parades and stuff center around. So there's a lot of activities coming up on that, and we'll talk more about some of those events because it's kind of time to plan your week. It's coming up very soon,
Man,
and we'll talk about that. There's a lot of events that go on all week long, so we'll be talking about planning the week around everything that's going on with North Omaha with Native Omaha Days. Of course, there's a parade, live music, dance, tasty food, shopping, fun tours, cultural exhibits, family fun, unforgettable memories, all kinds of stuff going down from July 28th to August 4th. So we'll be talking about it more, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear how you're planning your week out. What are some of the activities that you want to get down with, and where you bringing the babies? And I sure hope by July 28th it'll start cooling down a little bit. Uh,
man,
but fortunately, these things go into the night when it does start to cool down a little bit, and that's kind of like where the fun starts too. When it starts to get like evening time, start getting some food and walking up and down the street, and people cruising up and down 24th. It's really fun. It's really fun. Every time it happens, we go, "Why isn't this happening in North Omaha every week?"
man.
We say it every time. So we'll be talking about it as we go. But in the meantime, between time, I'm gonna throw it over to Buddy, get this conversation started. What's going on, Buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, really quickly, as far as the Native Omaha Day situation, I do want to acknowledge Brother Marlon. He said he has a special Native Omaha Day post coming out later on today with pictures. Says I can't wait for y'all to see it. So just want to
Okay.
acknowledge and let the people know to look out for that. Marlon Harrison again, part of our chat chimers, our content creators camp. When a camper actually was a part of the last iteration. So big shout out to Marlon for making a return. But yeah, journalism, telling the story. Looking forward to what you have going for that. So yeah, big shout out to you, Marlon. And shout out to all of you tuned in right now. Brother Kasim tapping in. Peace, brother.
Hey,
Top of the morning to you. Actually, congratulations on your baby shower a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Family growing, man. Definitely proud of you on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into today's conversation. I have a few things prepared as far as clips. We've been talking about the Sun Ra movie, which is a big inspiration for us for this theme. A space is the place. As you see, we're in outer space, as you see. And the thing about this season, I think it is fun. We get to be creative with the conversation. As a journalist, angles are big. How you look at information, how you talk about certain things, is very interesting. And we talk about the concept of time here on the show a lot of times. And I'm going to play a clip from the Sun Ra Space is the Place film. Because we mention it as inspiration for the season, but it maybe dawned on me that a lot of people may not have seen the movie or might not be familiar with the works of Brother Sun Ra, and again, why it is we're talking about what we're talking about and how we're talking about it. And actually, this goes into quite interesting your comments and feelings about Native Omaha Days, Paul, and whether or not it's for everybody or just Black folk. So we're going to look into the past to talk about the future. Let's go.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Now we're looking for it. All right, here we go.
Greetings, Black youth, planet Earth.
What it is.
I am Sun Ra, ambassador from the intergalactic regions of the Council of Outer Space.
Why are your shoes so big?
Are those moon shoes?
How do we know you for real?
Yeah, how we know you ain't somebody off Telegraph Street, some old hippie or something?
Where are you? I mean, we don't know that.
She for real?
He might have something going for him.
Yeah, we sure
Well,
don't.
what kind of shoes is that you got on your feet?
Yeah, walking around all these funny clothes. Shoot, I know I'd probably take off running. I seen somebody walking down the street coming, talking all that mess to me, talking about going to outer space.
I mean, yeah, what it is. That's what it is. What it is.
That's my Telegraph shoes. We don't know what you are.
How do you know I'm real?
Yeah.
I'm not real. I'm just like you. You don't exist in this society. If you did, your people wouldn't be seeking equal rights. You're not real. If you were, you'd have some status among the nations of the world. So we're both myths. I do not come to you as a reality. I come to you as the myth, because that's what Black people are, myths. I came from a dream that the Black man dreamed long ago. I'm actually a present sent to you by your ancestors.
There you go. Yeah. Again, this is when did this film come out? Like the 60s, 70s?
Yeah, it's about 72, I believe.
Yeah. And again, the interesting thing about space is the place, and again, we get to get creative about space and time, and get real abstract. But on a concrete sense, the saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same, comes to mind. And again, space is the place for us. Stemming from that means the feeling that we are a myth, that we don't exist, or at least don't belong in the space that we're in. And I'm gonna tie it in back to the Native Omaha Day conversation, because a part of belonging, a part of existing, is having something, of owning something, of existing, saying that I'm here. And I didn't really think about this when you first mentioned it about Native Omaha Days, but it is interesting. It brings up feelings of like conversations about reverse racism, because the whole point is that we aren't celebrated. We're actually treated like we don't belong or exist. So Native Omaha Days almost feels like this is our celebration of us. And for you on the outside, and this is nothing against you, but it's just interesting thought to think like, this should be for everybody. No, it's ours. It's ours. And anytime we try to do something for us, it's like, no, this should be everybody's. And really, anytime it's like should be ours, it's like reverse racism.
Yeah, this is all lives matter.
Exactly. And that's the past. But again, as I said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. How about the present as we go on this voyage through time? Brings us to an article. Big shout out to those of you sharing stories on Friends of First Sky. We've been saying it, and it's not just us. Apparently, the leader, the head of the National Urban League, is declaring a state of emergency for Black folk. This coming out of quintessentialgentleman.com. But again, shout out to those chat chimers and active listeners sharing these stories and these perspectives. We've been saying it, but it's not just us. Again, this declaration came from a report that was issued on Thursday from the National Urban League, which they actually release this report every year. It's the State on Black America report. That is an annual report that they release. But again, this year's report is sounding the alarm over what the organization calls a coordinated rollback of civil rights protections in the United States, led in large part by President Donald Trump and the conservative movement backing him. If left unchecked, they risk reversing decades of progress that have made America more dynamic, competitive, and just, according to the report. Actually unveiled at the Urban League's national conference in Cleveland just last week. The report paints a sobering picture of a federal government actively retreating from its duty to protect marginalized communities. And again, whether or not what's happening is coordinated or random or not connected, um, Urban League president, Brother Mark Morial, is pretty much echoing what I'm feeling. He says it's not random. It is a well funded, well organized, well orchestrated movement of many, many years. For a long time, people saw white supremacist politics and white nationalism as on the fringe of American politics. It has now become a mainstream of the American right, whose central foundation is within the Republican Party, i.e., the grand old party, as we like to call it.
Mm.
So that is the president that we see. That's the president that Brother Mark Morial is seeing. But again, in this season of Space is the Place, we want to talk about the future. Because we do know, as Brother Mark is seeing, there's a future that is being planned. The future is being planned whether you are planning it or not. So what are we planning? What does the future look like for us? And that is today's conversation.
And we want to hear from you. What say you? Kimmer's in the chat already saying, I wonder what that will mean for our local NAACPs. Good question. And Urban League as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very good question. I appreciate that. Yeah, what say you on that subject? What is the future? What are we doing? I see Brother Kasim in the chat is letting us know about some things that are coming up even before they've announced them. So if you're a chat chimer, if you're a ghost listener, you get lucky you get to information that nobody else is getting quite yet. He said National Honorable Marcus Garvey Day coming soon. So we've got some plans for that. Some other areas and spaces and places that involve us for us. We appreciate that very much. Also, he says bringing Brother Nuri back as well. So really can't wait for that. And something else is going on. I peeped on the page, and when we're talking about things that there is to do. The Urban Survival Club and also YBK present Back to School Bash. So this is
Yeah, man.
happening July 26th. Is coming up 5 to 7 p.m. at the Assembly of the Saints. And this is to help a lot of folks get back on track as far as school is concerned. Free backpacks, supplies. It's an event, so there's gonna be free food, music, and games. Something for the kids to do. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see when we're talking about in context of what it is that we can do and what can we do for ourselves and how do we take care of ourselves. So shout out to the Black Agenda Alliance, Urban Survival Club, YBK, Untamed, everybody who's doing these kind of boots on the ground events, especially for the kids. I love to see at the bottom here that you got some people that have donated to the cause here as well. Some sponsors, of course, Sentinel Force, Simple Foundation, which is good to see. Also, Get and Go Fish. I haven't seen Get and
Man.
Go Fish's logo anywhere before like that. So shout out to them for sponsoring this, and of course, Black Agenda Alliance. So definitely check this out. And if you want some more information, you can go to uscomaha.org and yeah, ask some questions. And of course, if you know Brother Kasim, you can always hit him up on Facebook and ask him what's going on too, or anybody else in the Black Agenda Alliance. But yeah, these are some of the things, man. Already, I feel like the chat is and in the chat, people that are following and listening to us, our first guy Omaha family, already has some of these solutions that you're mentioning. You know what I'm saying? What else do you see, buddy? That's along these lines that kind of would satisfy this idea of coming up with ideas of things that we can do here to be in this space. You know what I'm saying? Anything else popping? Anything else jumping in your mind about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's the lanes of change. To your point, everybody is kind of already doing it. And our whole idea and effort with this season and the Lanes of Change project is to kind of coordinate and organize, at least in our minds, the work that's being done. And through that, maybe we can, get creative and see more about how um to correlate and how to, build coalition and how to work together. Because that seems like a intentional push in the community, especially in North Omaha, is to figure out how the community can work together and come together and better organize, because the change that we all hope to create is not going to happen without it.
Mhm.
And going back to Senator McKinney and how they formulated LB 1024 and the hundreds of millions of dollars that came in to the community, their intention was not only to just give money to people, but to give money to people who are collaborating, who are working together, who have that in mind. Because it's not just a cool saying. Like we echo this a lot on the show because it's true. We're not outnumbered. That whole minority trope, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't. But I do believe that we are out organized. So again, to answer your question, I don't think there's no large sweeping answers. I think the answers are out there. We just have to pull it together.
Yep. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Good morning to you. He says, not just the American right and damn sure not just the GOP. This is why I can't mess with the Urban League always with inconsistent analysis. Okay, I understand that. I definitely think that just to say the right, just to say Republican is a really centering, that kind of partisanship when it really is Democrats and Republicans, and it's white supremacy, which entails a whole lot of those groups. So definitely, I can see what you're saying there. He's also talking about something else that's happened too. He says, Brother Byron Kawoba will be in Omaha to discuss his book on Garvey's mentor, Hubert Harrison.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, get us some more information about that. When is that happening? Definitely want to hear about that. So again, there's information out there if we're interested in really kind of checking it out and seeing what's happening. And we ask this question, what can we do? What should we be doing? A lot of it's been done. A lot of it is that a lot of it is the wheel we don't have to reinvent.
Man.
So yeah, it's learn from what's happening, improve upon it even, and get going. So yeah, like I said, this is what we'll continue to talk about, and I'm so glad that we're hooked up with groups and people that are on this tip and actually making some moves and bringing some folks here and continuing on that communication and education on it. So shout out to everybody who's doing that. I appreciate you, Black Dynamite. Appreciate you coming in. Says good morning,
Good morning.
y'all. Appreciate all of you that are coming in and discussing these topics with us. Let us know if you have any questions as well, not just comments, but if you have questions, this is a good time to put those in the chat. You can always put those in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. Ask questions. That's part of the conversation. It's not just all come to First Sky Omaha Friends of page and just put down your thoughts and beliefs and the things that you want to share, but also questions that you might have. Get the conversation going. Conversation goes both ways. So we highly encourage that here and in the chat and also on Friends of First Sky Omaha as well.
Big time.
If you don't mind, buddy, want to take a quick break here and cleanse the palate a little bit and come back?
Yeah. When we come back, we can actually start breaking down the lanes of change, what they are, and maybe helping people see what lane they're in. And I do want to give a shout out to Brother Kasim. Also, speaking of the future, he says we bringing Nuri back as well. So again, working on bringing Brother Nuri Muhammad back. If you missed that at last time, again, very very dynamic brother, very dynamic speaker, and big shout out to Captain Q and the whole BAA getting down. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't touch that dial. Paul B, what's the word?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and come right back. Jump back into the conversation. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey.
We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews played. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Hello, I'm Tim Clark, chairman of the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs. Our mission is to improve the social, economic, and political status of Nebraska's African American community through legislation, advocacy, education, and engagement. We focus on key areas: health and wellness, tackling disparities like higher rates of chronic disease, promoting access to culturally competent care, economic empowerment, supporting entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and equitable access to resources. Housing, addressing systemic discrimination, promoting fair housing opportunities. Education, fighting inequality through better funding, teacher training, and culturally relevant instruction. And finally, justice, challenging racial disparities in the justice system and supporting community-led efforts. To learn more, visit us at ncaa.nebraska.gov. We're committed to building a stronger and more equitable Nebraska together. Thank you.
Hey, shout out to the organization there, African, what is it? The Commission for African American Affairs. Yeah.
Yep.
Sending that message through us, we've been, like we say every time that we play that message, they've been in the news a lot lately over some restructuring. They're being accused of misappropriating funds, all kinds of things that are going on with that. That's all really negative. But we know that Brother Tim Clark and some other folks that are in that organization are trying to go in there and straighten things out, turn things around. And the first move is to communicate out what their mission is, and it's really interesting. We talk about our 7 lanes of change. It's interesting to hear this organization and break down some of the things that they think need to be addressed. And a lot of them line up. We all kind of want the same thing. A lot of them line up. And it seems to me that this organization, the weight on their shoulders is they can't really stay in one lane. They have to kind of address a few things since they're the kind of the representation of the Black community in the state, which is kind of what that whole organization is for. So, I have have a little bit of a draw to say, okay, well, how about we, since it exists and since it's here, how about we figure out how to fix what needs to be fixed, help them out, help them do that. And maybe those some of the things that they're trying to tackle will, since they line up with some of our things that we're trying to tackle, maybe we can tackle them together, and it'll be interesting to really see. So yes. I definitely think that we should look into it with not critically, but also with this idea that we ought to figure out what we can do to kind of help the situation out as well. Because if it worked like it was supposed to work, how would it benefit the community?
Man.
So we're going to have some people from that organization on, probably Tim Clark again, and we'll talk about it as we go. Just keep those things in mind. Before we get to the next piece of information there, first of all, I wanted to give a shout out to Linda Lathan, who came in with a comment. Appreciate you. Says definitely not outnumbered. That's why they literally have been deleting the census data. Yeah, man. Anyone who's checked white or with another race in the 2020 census literally got switched to white. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that when they reported on it, but yeah, they these classifications and these birthright citizenship stuff and all the stuff that's going down. It seems like they're setting up for disappearing a lot of folks, making us not exist, like Sun Ra said.
Man.
Buddy, I know you wanted to do a thing, but our special guest happened to pop in, and I think I want to bring her in before we get to those lanes.
No, it's
we got a real surprise for y'all. Seriously, I hope that you guys are watching right now. We got a real surprise coming up right now. She's waiting in the wings, ladies and gentlemen. Our special surprise guest that we teased earlier, Miss Michelle Trosclair, in the house.
Hey,
what's happening?
I put on a bra for y'all this morning.
Well, thank you.
You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. We free around here. It's all good. We appreciate you.
Put the girls up.
So good this day. I can't believe you on the screen. It's the three agreeos back again.
Back again.
The three agreeos. Hey, man, I didn't hear what y'all fully were talking about here, but I think what I'm here to soapbox about.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Man.
Yeah, I think we need some history lessons today.
Okay. Oh, okay. You came on with a little history lesson. I like that. Well, you know
Yes.
what? Hold on real quick because if you're gonna do that, then we got to do something here real quick. Hold on one second. Check this out.
Woo.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Trostler's soapbox moment begins now.
Yes. Um, First of all, I think we all know by now that the United States of America has one of the best propaganda machines ever on the planet. And I think when we talk about immigration and race and all of those things, we have pretty much determined that in order for certain people to remain in power at the top of the food chain, so to speak, that you have to perpetuate a narrative that white is right, that Eurocentrism is important to go. If you're going to perpetuate that narrative, you can never stop. You have to continually demonize people from black and brown countries. Now, I think what people don't know is that when we have immigration.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Already run into some technical difficulties there. Let's see. We got it back. All right.
Oh,
You back?
There she
am
go.
I back? Okay.
Yeah.
It is not
Immigration.
because we are the best country in the world, although we've sold that not only to Americans, but to people around the globe, that we are the best country in the entire world. We have the best economy, the strongest economy. We have the best and strongest military, all of those things, and that our currency is always at or near the top in terms of value. So we sold that around the world. And the way we did that is so despicable and so evil. And I think people need to understand the history behind that. Um, Once we entered World War II, we weren't sure of ourselves completely as a superpower. But when we came out of that, we had those reassurances. Yes, we were. And so we really started going around the globe to black and brown countries, kind of flexing our muscle. And what I mean by that is we had what we thought was a democracy. We don't. We have an oligarchy. We have certain people in power. We have wealthy white men at the top of the food chain who got there through nefarious means, and we all know what those were. But their ability to stay there is rooted in such evil around the globe. And I'm not sure that everyone is aware of that. We have a playbook that we have put together since World War II, and it involves whenever our oligarchs, our corporations, our wealthy businessmen have something that they want from a black or a brown country, whether it be sugar, fruit, cocoa, gold, diamonds, oil, cobalt, bauxite, any of those things, the U.S. government has engaged in some of the most wicked and uh, I can't even think of another evil term that would describe what we do and what playbook we set in place. We have gone into black and brown countries and cozied up to brutal dictators that are in power so that they would give us unfettered access to that country's resources, whatever it is our businessmen want. If you want more information, Google the Banana Wars, and that'll tell you a little bit about it. But it's all over the globe what we have done. So here's the playbook. If the current regime does not cozy up to us and give us unfettered access to the resources and the exploitation of their citizens, what we do is we stage a coup d'etat and we overthrow that government, even if it was democratically put in place by the people. And we install a hand-picked dictator that will do our bidding. We have done it, and I'm going to give you a list of countries here. In Central America, we did it in Guatemala, Nicaragua, Panama. We did it in the Caribbean. We just took Puerto Rico. We took Hawaii. We did it in Colombia and Venezuela. We just go around doing these things. In Africa, We did it in the Congo. We did it in Libya. We've done it throughout the Pacific. We did it in Guam, Samoa, the Philippines. We did it in Suriname, Myanmar. And in the Middle East, we attempted to do it in Iran and Afghanistan. We've done it in Korea. We did it in Haiti. We occupied Haiti. We stole their resources. We installed a brutal dictator, Aristide. And then we have the nerve to call them impoverished and look down our nose on them when their government and their country is in disarray. That's what we did in Honduras. That's what we did in Guatemala. What we did to Mexico is we installed the Hoover Dam and blocked water into the valleys in Mexico and created massive deserts with inarable land. Then we did our drug policy that established those cartels which slaughtered millions of Mexican citizens. So what we do as a country, and let me tell you, it's not about spreading democracy. We have no desire to spread democracy, never have. What we wanted to do was get access, unfettered access to the country's resources, and we wanted to exploit their citizens. We wanted them to do slave labor, where we paid them almost nothing. And then those dictators, in turn, would get kickbacks and would be able to treat people any kind of way in their country. And that's what we do. You wonder why Iran hates us? In 1953, we reinstalled their brutal dictator, the Shah, after they democratically. Okay,
Yeah, you saw a
we
little bit.
democratically, we took away their democratically elected government and installed the Shah. That's why in the 70s, the late 70s, when the people rose up and exiled him, removed him from the United States asylum. The people wanted him back so he could stand trial for his crimes. We refused. And so they took those hostages in 1979 and kept them for a year in the U.S. Embassy. After that, we did an embargo and we did trade sanctions and all kinds of things to try to cripple their economy. So that's what we do. Now, the other thing in Libya with Muammar Gaddafi, in 1959, there was oil discovered in Libya. And King Idris at the time in Libya gave us unfettered access where we were able to engage in production and refining, and we just had access to the oil. 1969, Muammar Gaddafi staged a military coup and overthrew King Idris. He nationalized that oil. He kicked the U.S. out. So we demonized him. And talking about he did state-sanctioned terror. He might have every right to do it because we made several, including bombing his house and killing his 2-year-old daughter. Demonized Cuba because they wouldn't do our bidding. When Castro came into power that year in 1969, when he came into power, 59, when he came into power, yes, because we would not just let him do him and do his country without us being involved so intimately that we basically ran the country. We said no. And so he went to Russia for assistance. And he did a socialist economic system, just like they did in Libya, just like they had done in some of these other countries that we call ourselves hating. And so we did the embargo, we did sanctions, we blocked trade and all that to cripple that country. This is the playbook. This is what we do. And so the United States has perpetuated a lie. And when people come to this country, because the currency is at the top of the food chain, when people come to this country, then we say, oh, look, they're trying to take away from us. They're trying to take our jobs. They're trying to take our resources. When our entire economy, when our entire structure is built on the backs of these countries. So those wealthy people in power, the heads of those major corporations, are sitting there at the top of the food chain because of what they have done to Black and brown countries. When we look at the Congo in 1960, when they had an elected official, democratically elected, Patrice Lumumba, the CIA staged his assassination because he refused to allow the United States unfettered access to all of the resources of the Congo. And so now what do we have? We have a puppet government in there that allows U.S. and other Euro-centered companies to come in there to mine their cobalt and their bauxite for our cell phones at the expense of those people. That's our playbook. And then we have the nerve to tell those people, you cannot come here. We're going to send you back to these countries that we have decimated, that we have raped of all their resources, that we have left in shambles. This country, like I said, it's an amazing propaganda machine. That's the one thing they do best on their own. And we have fallen for it time and time and time again as a people. And it's time that Black and brown people stand together and say enough. And that's my soapbox moment.
Only as Michelle Traps Clear could do. And as always, quite in line with the conversation. It's kind of interesting. You say you didn't quite hear what we were talking about, but you fell right into the conversation because we're talking about lanes of change, and we're talking about the 7 themes that we have come up with as we've been doing the show over the last few years. And it started with where we started, Michelle. Activism is journalism. And the fact that, or excuse me, journalism is activism. And the fact that you just mentioned and talked about the very first lane of change, which is, I talked about it last episode. It is a war on information. You see the defunding of education. You see the defunding of public news and public media. You see the leaning on corporate media. It's a war on information. It starts with the propaganda machine that she just laid out. And if you fall for the propaganda, then you fall for everything else that's happening. But it starts with the war on information. That is the first lane of change that we recognize, and that is the first lane that we occupy. That is why we do things like the Content Creators Camp. That is why we do things like waking up 3 days a week, crack of dawn, to do this show. Because the information has to be pushed, because the propaganda machine is not stopping. It's not slowing down. So how do you combat that? How do you get in front of it? And I'm glad you're joining this conversation specifically, Michelle, because you years ago had a moment on air where you recognized I had on rose-colored glasses.
I talk about this all the time.
Go
Our
ahead,
generation had on rose-colored glasses, and you made me remember that. Brought that to my attention. That's what it was. Yep. Level of disappointment that we have over thinking that things had changed and realizing that they didn't just change, but they're worse. And this country hates us.
Well, it's the acknowledgement that the country you thought it could be is not possible. It's not possible. And the reason it's not possible is because it was built on a raggedy foundation. And so when you build a country on evil and wickedness without ever truly acknowledging it or atoning, it cannot stand. We are right now watching the crumbling of the United States of America because it's never been united. And that has been purposeful. It has been a stage for wealthy white men to perpetuate their thoughts, their goals, their vision for America. It's not ours. And they tried to sell it as a democracy, and it has never been that. It has never been that. I liken it to they said it's about choices and your voting and your choices. But when your choices are Vienna sausages and spam,
I'll take the spam myself. I have to.
I might just starve. I
I'm
might just
just
have to starve.
I'm just saying. And that's all they present to you. I remember Johnny No Good always said, "Do we truly have choices?" And he used to do this with our kids at Blackburn. And he said, "What do you want? You want strawberry jam or grape on your sandwich?" And they would choose one of those two. He said, "But there are so many other flavors. But those are the only two I presented to you. So do you truly have choice?" And the fact is, uh, in a democracy, you should have more than two parties.
Mm.
In a democracy, you should have access to the ballot, unfettered access to the ballot. You should have candidates who represent all spectrums. We don't have that. We never have. And when I took off the rose-colored glasses and I actually started going down the rabbit holes of research, it is so disappointing to learn that all the times I was marching and protesting, which I've been doing since pre-birth, by the way, because you know my mama been out there since day one, to know that everything that we have fought for, that the only reason it was allowed is because they saw a benefit in it for them at the top. Integration wasn't about helping Black people.
Nope.
It was about our economics. They wanted our dollars.
Yep.
That's why anytime we had a Black town that was prosperous or a Black neighborhood that was prosperous, where we spent our dollars in our own neighborhoods or in our own cities and towns, they destroyed them.
Literally.
So when we talk about separation, I think we need to be careful, because anytime we look like we're doing too good for the white man, he's going to try and tear it up. Only times we've ever bombed our own citizens or stage a coup against our own citizens has been towards Black people. So
Dropping bombs.
We dropped bombs on Tulsa. We dropped bombs in Philadelphia on the move.
In the 80s, though. That's not even too far back.
Nope.
Right.
Oh, baby.
And
Let me go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just gonna jump in. It's 8:02 right now. Just want to let people know what time it is, even though we don't necessarily believe in the concept of time. But it is 8:02 right now. We're in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And
so if you were supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock, you is late.
Hey.
And if you were supposed to be at work at 7 o'clock, you is fired. We appreciate you coming on. Michelle, we got a special surprise guest, Michelle Trostler. For those of you that have been with us for a while, yes, this is definitely a Mind and Soul and First Sky Omaha reunion. We used to have you on all the time doing your soapbox moments. It feels good. It felt like we back. It felt like Three Agrios is back, and we always
putting the she in the nanigans.
There you go. Yep.
The nanigans.
Always a good time. You always come with such deep history and knowledge, and we appreciate it. I got a question for you in the second hour too, though. With you now, you left because you moved out of town. You moved back east, and and when you and when Donald Trump. So let me take it back even further. When Trump got elected the first time, we were doing this, and I was hearing in your voice just the breakdown of just you were just so upset. And as a matter of fact, you got so upset you moved to Africa. You was like, you know what, I'm out. Okay. So now then you moved back. Then you came back, and then we kept doing the show, and then you moved back east, and that's the last time you were on the show was right before you moved back east. And while you were there, Trump got elected again, and I got worried like. Michelle going this is the second time she really gonna fall apart. And I hit you up and I was like, are you okay? And you were like, I'm fine. I'm in an area right now where people are fighting, and it's different than being in Nebraska. And like we was in Nebraska, it was different. Where you're at now back east, it seems like people are in the fight. You have a community of people that you were telling me about. I want to hear a little bit more about that because you're back there educating,
Yes.
and you didn't, just because you ain't on the show don't mean you ain't been active. You've been active, and
Well,
Mhm.
it's
tell us.
blackety black over here in Baltimore.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Hey,
Blackity black in Baltimore, the three
gotta
B.
find your people. Gotta find your people.
I am in Baltimore. I'm in a blue state. You know, my mayor is black. My governor is black. Senator is
Right.
black. It's blackety black over here. Um, and it makes a huge difference. Nebraska, well, North Omaha is rather insulated,
Mhm.
and the blue dot is making a difference.
Mhm.
But overall, because black people in Nebraska only make up about 4 to 5% of the state's population, that in terms of impact of your dollars and your vote, they don't take the black community seriously. So that's not so here. So it makes a difference. I decided that my role uh, here while I'm here is to educate young people. So that's what I do.
That's your
So I
lane.
teach eighth grade, and I'm also working on my doctorate in education. And my dissertation has to do with Eurocentrism and capitalism in education. Our education system is doing exactly what it was designed to do, and that's to provide an education for white children of means.
Mm.
Mm.
And that's what it was designed for. And so all the strides that we think we've made in education for our young people is pretty much non-existent. In all my research, it's non-existent. We continue to fall globally in education because of the lack of catering of education to black and brown children.
Mm.
Mm.
And so as those populations increase, education numbers are continuing to fall. And rather than look at countries that have been successful in education in educating their citizenry, we stick to that Eurocentric model where the purpose of our education system is not to educate children, but to create cogs for a machine that continues
Mhm.
to make sure that we are the number one economic power and the number one military power.
Yep.
And that's it. So they don't care about our young people. They don't care about our children, not their education. They don't want critical thinkers. They don't want problem solvers. They don't want creators. They want worker bees. So once we get that understanding, then we can start looking at, okay, so how do we change that?
Mhm.
So when he talks about dismantling the Department of Education, I'm not mad.
Mm.
Really?
No, because that Department of Education has continued to perpetuate a system that does not serve our children.
Mhm.
Whoa,
That's interesting.
Hmm.
that's a take.
So go on and dismantle it.
So
Go
let me
on
ask
and
you this:
dismantle it.
replace it with what? And this is, for the audience, you're somebody who has written
Hmm.
education legislation and policy for elected officials. I remember you helping a gentleman in Ohio. Of course, you're going for
Hmm.
your doctorate, so you're a longtime educator. So to
Yeah.
hear that from you is interesting. What do you see it being replaced with? What does the future look like?
Um, I think that for the next couple years until Trump is out of office, we probably won't have anything. But I think Born from the Ashes needs to be a department that changes the purpose of our education system and that
Why?
looks to other countries that are doing the work that ensures that the children are taken care of.
Mm,
Because when you look at the whole child, not just plugging in numbers, because they started pushing STEM and it's not working.
Mm.
Instead of just pushing certain agendas so that we remain competitive economically, that's not going to work. So it needs to be a system that incorporates positive, successful methodologies that other countries are using. I decided in my dissertation to study 4 countries,
Hmm.
Finland and Japan, who are consistently in the top 3 in the world, Libya and Cuba.
Hmm.
Cuba, when Fidel Castro came to power, had a 27% literacy rate. He installed a system. It's a socialist system in terms of education, where they rank higher than the United States in literacy now. They're at 100% literacy rate.
Hmm.
Libya, very similarly, used a socialist economic and governmental system for education. And they went from a 23% literacy rate to an 83% literacy rate
Hmm.
for their citizens. And that's because if you read Muammar Gaddafi's Green Book, where he outlines the purpose of education and the need to take care of the whole child, that will tell you. So, what we're doing in this country is actually detrimental to our children.
It's really interesting that you say that. I hadn't thought about it that way. Been very dissatisfied with the educational system. We talk all the time about what we as a people can do to educate our
Mhm.
own and so on. But then when this came up about this kind of dismantling of the education system, I definitely was like, this is the wrong direction. But from like you said, from the ashes could be
Mhm.
the systems that we're always talking about trying to build in the first place.
Mhm.
Especially, we know you. I think you are very influential to the way we think of things on this show, when it comes to solutions journalism. Like, you're
Mhm.
never going to say a thing and then not be able to have a plan in place already that you already been up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking of and figuring out.
Yeah.
And so this
How'd you know?
and talking through it,
I don't
talking
sleep.
and talking through with your dogs and stuff like that. Now, Buster, what do you think we got to do about that? And everything that you do in order to come up with and the solution is brilliant. Like, I like to study other countries.
Mhm.
This is what we do here. That, to study how it's done elsewhere to figure out a
Mhm.
solution. This whole child, we always talk about this all the time. Is the education can't just be up and to the
Mhm.
left of the brain. It has to be the
Yeah.
whole child. It has to be family support. It has to be all the things that truly
Mhm.
educate people. And I know that that's how you approach things every time when you're educating, you're doing that too, which is why you take in babies not just for the information, but you be in their whole life
Mhm.
helping them.
Yep.
So yeah, I appreciate
So
you. Mhm.
it's a process. It's a hurtful process that this country is going to have to go through, and
Mhm.
it's not one that's going to be easy, because we have to remember 50% of this country or more voted for Donald Trump.
Man.
They are terrified of the browning of America. They're terrified of losing their way of life and their privilege that they've had. And so this is going to be an uphill battle, um, because we have never atoned for the racial mess that is in this country.
Mhm.
And when I talk about those 4 countries, the things that they have in common is they're homogenous. They do not have a vested interest in creating a subclass based on race.
Mm.
Mm.
So when we look at Finland and Japan, they don't have an interest in creating a subclass, because they recognize that if a portion of your population is a weak link, then the chain is weak.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
We have not learned that lesson yet.
Let
We
me ask you
keep
a question.
creating weak links.
Let me ask you a question. Because as soon as you said that, I thought capitalism. What are the economic systems of those 4 countries that you mentioned?
They're socialist. They're socialists.
Mm.
And so, we rail about that. And we do have some socialist systems, our social security system, Medicare, Medicaid,
Mhm.
to some extent, our education system, those kinds of things. What I mean by a socialist system is that the government understands its purpose. It's health and safety of its citizens, to educate its citizens, and infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That is the purpose of government. And until we get, capitalism has warped that here, where our elected representatives often think the purpose of government is to provide them with wealth and power.
Right.
Man.
So backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Let me.
And so,
I'm gonna take a break real quick, but
mm-hmm.
before we do that, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was driving down 72nd yesterday. Saw a older black gentleman on the bench. Actually, an older African gentleman on the bench in this heat, which I'm got the air conditioner on full blast, water in my hand, and still hot, still sweating, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw him just asleep, melting on the park bench, not the park bench, on the bus stop bench, and I was sitting at the light and I kept looking because I was like, "Is he dead? Is he breathing? What's like? What? Like I got to figure something out." I had to double back around. Happened to have some waters and stuff in my car, so I had to double back around because I was like, "I can't just let this brother sit here." And all these
Mm-hmm.
cars passing, looking at this man, and we all wondering if he's like, I'm trying to see if I'm seeing his chest rise. Is he breathing? Is he out
Yeah.
here having a heat stroke? Stop over there and drop off some waters. But as I'm driving away, my mind is going, what can we put in place here in this place for people who are in trouble when the weather's bad like this? We don't even got bus stops that got shields over them. I've been in other countries where they got heated bus stops and TVs inside the bus stop and everything
Mm-hmm.
else. People don't, they're not thinking about people at all that might be on the. And I thought, and I immediately went to this idea like no business would fund this. This has to be something that the state does. This has to be something that our country does for its citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it took me down a rabbit hole of we don't do that for ourselves. We don't really care about this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about people like that on
Mm-hmm.
that level. So I resonate really with what you're talking about, and I definitely want to come back. If you can hang with us a little bit more, I want to come back after this break real quick because I want to ask you about address something that Cameron brought up about what will happen to the education system. Because our state has been fighting for control of the education system ever since Ricketts was around. So what if when it gets dismantled? And it might go to the states. I want to hear your opinion about
Mm-hmm.
that. Address that what Kimmer was talking about in the break. But
Mm-hmm.
take a quick break. Come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul
Good
B, Study
morning.
to God, Michelle Trosclair, the three of griots back. It's happening. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
This summer, North Omaha comes alive. It's the Native Omaha Days Festival, a week-long celebration of culture, music, food, shopping, and powerful community reunions. Join locals, new residents, and visitors from around the globe for the ultimate homecoming experience. Get in on the fun. Find event details, vendor info, and more at nativeomahadays.org. Let's make memories together at Native Omaha Days, July 28th through August 4th.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul
In
B,
the
Buddy to God.
morning.
We got Michelle Trosclair, man. With the three of griots back again. I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who hit us up saying that they were interested in the Content Creators Camp. We are in the midst of the camp right now. The first day was Saturday, the July 19th. We got some words of wisdom from Dr. Carol Zugner, who was our first instructor. She dropped some gems. As a matter of fact, gems
Yeah.
that I notated down and want to talk about this week. So we'll be talking about it. But if you're interested in that, please hit us up, firstsky@gmail.com. We were only accepting 8 participants, but I think a couple might have fallen off so far. So there might be some spaces even in this session to jump in with us. But if there's not any more room, we will have another session real soon. So please hit us up. We'll put your name down and we'll talk about it. Become a trusted source in the neighborhood. Use your creator skills. Become a citizen journalist and hold those empower accountable. This is all about journalism as activism, and we were trying to build an army of citizen journalists to do just that. And this is the beginning of that. So, Content Creators Camp Summer 2025 is going on right now. Hit us up immediately on all of the channels, and we look forward to hearing from you. Sorry about that. And so, with that, we want to jump back into the conversation. 8:20 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and if you're just joining us, you better feel real lucky because we got Miss Michelle Troxclair back in the mix. It's just like the old days. We fall right back into our 3 Agrio ship. She puts the she in the nanigans,
Yeah,
and it's
man.
already going down. And that on top of that, some words of wisdom. I tell you, you amaze me every time with your level of intelligence and your educational skills and the way that you teach and the way that you dive into history and everything that your ADHD and everything else has brought to you. It's a superpower. It's superpower that you got. I love it. I love it. Everybody got their superpowers, and we love that we can. You can go deeper. Like you can go deeper than you. So yeah, I'm just very excited that you're here, and I hope that everybody is really hearing what you're hearing here. You're hearing the very
Truth.
well thought out truth, and backed up. This is an example of that too. Ain't just over here talking about what she think. She coming with facts, figures,
Mm-hmm.
proof. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is what this is what being a trusted source in your neighborhood looks like right here.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
shout out to you.
One of your chat chimers said, "What do you think the ideal education system?" This is Colby, Black
Like
Dynamite, Arlington
dynamite.
said,
Yeah.
would look like for Black, brown, and red communities. Um, First of all, the statistics show that white children even learn better when they have Black educators and prefer Black educators. But so that's the first thing is we need to inundate the school system with educators of Black, brown, and red communities. That's one thing. The other piece is when I looked into these other countries, what I found was when you look at the whole child, you realize what they are capable of. In Finland, elementary age schools, they only go for 4 hours a day. And one of those hours is in play because you learn through play. Because all of the data shows that children's brains can only absorb for about 3 hours. So what we are doing here is warehousing children so their parents can work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to say, what you going to do if the kid only in school for 4 hours, and how you going to go to work? That's my first thought.
Well, first of
That's
all,
wild.
other countries have figured that out. So that family and education and work balance works there. They don't do the 40-hour work week. They don't do the 2 weeks of vacation. They have paid maternity leave for some countries up to a year. They have, they put these things in place so that the whole child is taken care of. And so if a child after that 4 hours of school, if parents are working, then they go do something fun. It is not pushing an agenda. Okay. So
Creating a
they
worker.
may have structured play. They may go to music lessons or art lessons or something to that effect. But education only occurs for 4 hours a day. Now, when they get to middle school and high school, it goes up to 5 hours a day. But they always make sure children can go home at a decent time because they think it's important that children spend time with family. And so that's one thing. In Japan, what I noted was when they first start school, they're kindergarten through approximately 3rd grade. They are not pushing academics. What they are pushing are life skills.
Social.
So they learn
Mm.
coping skills, emotional management, manners, how to work as a team, how to serve others, those types of things. And then they start really kicking in with the academics come third grade. So children know how to manage disappointment and hurt and all of those things. None of these countries have homework.
Man.
They don't do homework because they feel like the time at home should be spent with family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they're more
Well, just really,
successful.
man, yeah. And just
Mhm.
really quickly about Japan, I'm actually, when you said Japan, I was happy because that was one of the countries I looked at as far as children. When I saw kind of a story, a video talking about in Japan, it's a phenomenon to see groups of children walking around unattended
Mhm.
because the society is so free, and the children, to your point about education, have so much free time, and the society, they're learning by actually going about and being in society by themselves and learning. But it is a safe
Mhm.
environment, and they learn and they make it back home. And I thought that was so interesting because if you see a group of children walking around unattended in the United States, that's, you're not comfortable with that. Like, man, where your parents at? Y'all in danger. This isn't safe.
Mhm.
But to have those two societies is very crazy. And to think
Well,
like
because
how
we
much.
have because we
Go
have
ahead.
a society that does not incorporate those skills early on.
Mm,
And because you're being a cog in a machine, our mental health system is lousy. And
man.
so we are dealing with children who cannot cope with life, who do not have the skills to deal with stressors. And so then what happens to them as they get older and become adults? They crashing out. They're
Mhm.
harming others. They're doing damage to society. And so when you teach children, life skills, when life happens, they know how to deal with it.
Mhm.
And we don't do that.
For real. Brother Jahi Shabazz in the chat says the public education system was produced by Rockefeller to train the public for industrial facilities work. It is a
Hmm.
training and an indoctrination system. It doesn't develop people into human beings. Also,
Hmm.
Man.
Mama God in the chat, appreciate you, Mama God, says Children's Museum has a display of this school concept in some country in South America. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I really love the what you're bringing up here about the different things. I can sit here and listen to you all day talk about the different systems, the different things they're doing for kids in different countries. It's so interesting to me
Hmm.
to hear about that. And it all leads to what you mentioned earlier about that when Trump decided he was kind of going into this dismantling of the education system, he was like, "Burn it down, then let's burn it down, and from the ashes build something new."
Hmm.
As it's getting burned down, though, we're nervous about where it will go. Miss Kimmer Snipes earlier in the chat talked about states taking control of it. I want to get your comment on that. If you think that that'll
Hmm.
happen in the interim, states like what you witnessed when you were here and we were talking about Nebraska and Ricketts and them trying to take it over. What do you think?
Um, well, first of all, we're going to go through a very painful period.
Mm,
Nothing that's burned to the ground is rebuilt in a day. So
mhm.
um, I think that what's going to have to happen is, and Kamara's right, once they dismantle the federal department, the states will have no choice but to pick it up.
Mm,
And depending on what state you're in, that's going to determine what type of education you receive. It's going to be
Mhm.
up to the people once Trump is out of power to figure out how we rebuild a federal system that I guess employs all of these things that make our children successful. And it's not testing. It's not, none of those things work.
Mhm.
None of those things work.
mm.
We have to look at the whole child. And I don't care what child you look at, because
All
white
children need it.
children are suffering too
Mhm.
Mhm.
in this system.
Mhm.
You have LGBTQ plus children, you have poor white children, And I guarantee you, poor white children make up a bulk of the system. And if they are not being properly educated because you are trying to create a subclass with other races, they go to school with these other races.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Fascinating.
when you look at Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of the Oppressed,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is a book that I recommend everybody read,
Mm-hmm.
because so many education systems that are governed by colonizers do this. They
Mm-hmm.
want to create worker bees. So rural schools will be taught rural skills, not the ability to transcend life circumstances and be who they want to be in the world. They're
Yep.
not teaching critical thinking skills. They're not teaching problem solving skills. They're teaching you exactly what you need to know in order to perpetuate the system that they prosper from. And that's it. So
Man.
when we talk about creating a federal system, it has to be based on what the goal of this country was in the beginning. When you come here, if you came from Europe and all of your ancestors were bakers and you did not want to be a baker, you could come here and not be a baker. You could be a lawyer. And education was the way out.
Mm.
And so on those principles alone, we have got to develop a federal system that allows children to transcend their life circumstances if they so choose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember going to a HBCU and learning what the A&M and the HBCUs meant for. And you know, for
Mm-hmm.
those who don't know what HBCU is, it's a historically black college and university. This was the
Mm-hmm.
education that we were given. Again, going back to your whole point about choice, this is the education that we were given after slavery because we were not allowed into what we now know as PWIs, the University of Minnesota, the University of Michigan, Michigan State, Florida State, Nebraska. All of these predominantly white
Mm-hmm.
institutions did not accept black people. So HBCUs were created. Most of those HBCUs, Florida A&M, North Carolina A&M, North Carolina A&T, the A&M and the A&T stands for agricultural and mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
We were given farm work and mechanic work. That was the only jobs that we were offered, even through college education. Even being college educated, the only two work paths that you were given were either agricultural or mechanical. That's what A&M stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Kimmer's in the chat saying that the state of Nebraska, as it stands with the current leadership, is not interested in our whole child.
Nope.
And just
No.
stated fact. Of course, she's on the OPS school board as well, and an educator herself, and
Mm-hmm.
really knows this. She says, I love you, Michelle." But Kimmera, you remember her name is Kimmera. I knew that it was gonna come in when you said it. You said it wrong, and then I was like, Kimmer gonna come on here and correct it. I appreciate her, but yeah, and she's another one of those too. And also, I just wanted to put this up too. This is the book that you are
Man.
recommending everybody check out for sure. I think I read the first 3 pages, and then something came up. You know, how it usually does. So I will get back to it too. But yes, definitely check this book out because if you're interested at all in what it is that we are. That we need to do in order to kind of change up some things. And I think in the meantime too, we talked about that. You're like, it's going to be painful. It's going to burn.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we are also, we also talk about educating our own, our children as well, coming up with our own schools. What you got over
What's
there?
that? Oh, it's the Green Book.
Oh, okay. This one too.
By Muammar Gaddafi.
Let me mirror
If
your
you don't read anything else, read that. And that will tell you how a democracy is supposed to work.
Mm.
How far away are we from that now?
Man.
Oh, so far away.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So
And they would
democracy in
like to
name
call
only.
him a brutal dictator. And the fact is, he stepped down from power several times, and the people asked him to come back. So he is talking about taking care of your citizenry.
Mm-hmm.
I ask this question all the time. Like, what is the point of government? What are we doing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are we really doing? this has to be insanity. Like it has to be insanity
Well, look at
for any of
Ibrahim
this to make sense.
Traore in Burkina Faso.
That's the next question I was going to ask you about that.
Okay, let's get into it.
I
Let's
know
get
you
into
hyped
it.
about them. Yeah.
Yes. He has taken this book. You can tell he's reading this playbook.
Wow.
And I'm watching him very closely. And yes, he mentions Gaddafi. That's kind of his blueprint. So the first thing he did was to nationalize the resources and kick out Euro and American powers. Where if you want to be here and you want to work here and use our resources, you're going to have to pay our people and pay our people well. So we didn't want to do that. So we got on out and we're going to talk stuff about him because that's what we do. We demonize leaders who don't do what we want them
And
to.
sent the black man to do it.
And we actually tried to set up an assassination attempt. So yeah, we're going by our playbook. And by nationalizing the resources of Burkina Faso, what that means, and Gaddafi did it as well with the oil, that resource in trade and in production and all of that, the funds are governed by the country itself and not by the corporations that are in there doing that work. So they're able to distribute and do what the government is supposed to do. So he's doing infrastructure. He is focusing on education. He is paying the people. He is giving stipends to college students to encourage them to go to school and stay in school. So these are the things that government is supposed to do. Instead, we want to 59% of our GDP goes to the military. I don't know if you know that.
I thought it was more than that.
59%. No, it's 59%, but 41% is for everything else.
Health, education, transportation, infrastructure. Yeah.
So, and the reason for that is so that we can go into these other countries and do what we want. So we station our military around the globe to push that agenda for our oligarchs. That's what our military is being used
Actually,
for.
Just real quick on that 41% going to everything else, because I'm also thinking domestically, how much of states' budgets goes to, National Guard, how much of cities' budgets goes to police, like how much of that 41% is actually also going to domestic militarization.
Yeah, it's we are a military industrial complex is what we are, for the sole purpose of maintaining the hierarchy as it stands. And so, yeah, everything this country does, the purpose of everything we do in this country is to make sure the 1% that are in power stay in power.
Pretty much.
Let's take a little quick break here. 8:38 right now. If you believe the concept of time, appreciate you guys tuning in, checking this out. I'm seeing folks and folks in the chat as well. Really appreciate you guys checking it out. Definitely go back if you missed any parts of this show. Go back to YouTube, Facebook, check it out. Hear what we're talking about here because it's very relevant to all the things that we've been on this season. This season is space is the place. It is season 3B. So we've rounded this section of the third time now in the lifespan of this First Sky Omaha in the morning, and we're back talking about these things in these spaces, these places, and I'm so happy to break into some of these conversations while we have you here. Most definitely, I will break from conversation here because we wanted to get back to some stuff before we got to the end of the show. Got another 20 minutes left in the show, and we kind of set everybody up right before you came on to talk about these lanes of change that. This concept that we've come up with this lanes of change. So I kind of want to throw it to Buddy, Michelle. If you don't mind hanging out, or if you got to go, then cool. But if you don't mind hanging out the rest of the show, we'd love to have you.
I can hang out. I can hang out. I don't go teach my
Okay,
kids
good.
till
Beautiful.
eleven
Good,
thirty.
Beautiful.
good. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to Buddy so we can dive into these concepts. And again, if you are on Facebook, please share the show. If you're on YouTube, also let people know that we're here and we want to get as many people in the conversation as we can and to jump on this. But this is kind of setting us up for some of the work that we're working on now to kind of define these things. We feel like everybody has a lane.
Yeah.
Everybody works in these lanes. If these lanes can get together and we can form a highway, then we can plow through any territory into the future that we need to. Just like the 75 plowed through the north side. So
Man.
it's all about the lanes of change. Set you up, buddy. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, and through the context of this conversation, we've kind of already been talking about a lot of it. Most namely, the journalism is activism, which again is the first lane of change, and we've seen it, in its many forms, not just journalism, but again, news and journalism is all about the let's see, the dispensing of information. There we go. The dissemination. That's the word I was thinking of. The dissemination of information. And again, and letting people know, speaking about this truth, this very truth that Sister Michelle has been talking about. I mean, many journalists have actually lost their lives, literally lost their lives trying to tell the very truth that we're talking about right now. So it starts with that truth. It starts with that information, because once you get the information, then you lose the rose-colored glasses and you can really see the path forward, and really what work has to be done. So that's the first lane of change for us is journalism, is activism, and getting active and spreading the word, spreading the information, ringing the alarm, letting people know. But it doesn't start there, or doesn't stop there, excuse me. As Michelle has kind of gotten into forms of government, ballot and the bullet is also that next step in the lane of change. And this is something that we've been talking about throughout the show. And moving forward, one of the lanes is the six to dismiss that we've been talking about. If you want to get active in that lane, then the six to dismiss is a direction that you can go in. If you don't know, six to dismiss used to be the top five from Sister Precious McKesson. These are the seats, these are the individuals that we should be thinking about locally to create the change that we want to see, starting at the top with Governor Jim Pillin, as you see on your screen. Also Senator Pete Ricketts, Congressman Mike Flood, Congressman Adrian Smith, Don Klein, who is the Douglas County attorney, and of course, Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen. All of these gentlemen have shown that not only do they not care about the whole baby, but they don't care about any of us. At least it feels. At least it looks
They
from
don't
them.
care about the baby, the bath water, the soap, the
Man,
nothing.
trying to get rid of it all. Just throw it all out. Throw it all out. So again, the ballot and the bullet. It used to be the ballot or the bullet. Again, alluding to that Malcolm X speech that man of the same title, but we changed it to the ballot and the bullet because again, it's not only just the ballot, it's not only just having your voice heard and being an active citizen, but it's also the bullet. How are you fighting back? What is your area of fighting back? How are you speaking up? How are you chiming up? And that can be anything, any way that you speak up, any kind of resistance that you give back. I remember there was a protest, and one of the brothers was out at the protest on the ones and twos, spinning some jams. But again,
Soundtrack for the march.
there you go. There you go. It used to be the drums, and now it's the brother on the ones and twos, man. So again, that is a way of having a bullet. That is a way of fighting back. That is the ballot and the bullet. Again, the third lane of change, and that's the season that we're in, is space is the place. Again, and I'm so glad that you broke things down the way you did, Michelle. Because yeah, things are burning down. If you look around, it's burning down. But the beauty of that is the ability to rebuild, and having, as you mentioned, there is a vision that's being pushed. There is an agenda, but what is our vision? What does the future look like for us? What is the space and the place that we like to create, that we like to occupy for ourselves? And how do we make that happen? And not just that, but development in the community that is happening now. Again, we've been talking about the likes of Brother Don Curry, who's again building up the community the way that he would like to see through the land bank. We talked about the land bank ambassador program, who again is allowing people finally through the land bank. We've been having this conversation for some years, but the land bank finally having their ambassador program, allowing people to sign up, to speak out, to spread the information, so others can develop and create the community that they themselves would like to see, not just these major multi-state corporations buying up all the land. So again, that is space is the place. Of course, follow the money, which we've been talking about. Yes, the fourth lane, follow the money. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney and the Inland Port Authority and the work that he's been doing, trying to secure some kind of capital, some kind of investment into our community. And again, the Inland Port Authority was a response to that because, again, the DED kind of fumbled, kind of dropped the ball, and quite honestly, still dropped the ball on this situation as far as the finances goes. Still a lot of questions, still a lot of confusion, but we're all navigating it and figuring it out. But again, shout out to Senator McKinney for creating the Inland Port Authority, and not just him, but you got the likes of Willie Barney at the Empowerment Network, Cameron Snipes, who is working on getting grants for neighborhoods and communities, and all the people working to try to help those in need secure finances, secure a way to create change financially. So that's follow the money.
We can't have change without economic power.
Man,
That's especially in this country. That's what it is. So
man. Going back to what you're talking about, Michelle, is nationalizing resources and things like that. Thinking along those lines of how to invest back into your best capital, which is the people. Man. Before I dive into the last three lanes of change, any input or any before, or just go ahead and plow through?
yeah, I would plow through, but I want to break here real quick because we got a true Mind and Soul reunion going on right now. Augie
Hey,
Kid is in there giving us good morning, First Sky families. Like Dynamite recognizes some real Mind and Soul reunion.
man.
Yep. So I appreciate you, Augie Kid. Appreciate the crew is back. The crew's
Yeah,
back.
for sure, man. And we cooking. So let's go ahead and round off our lanes of change with the last three. And this is Boots to the Roots is our next one. Boots to the Roots. Again, if you remember, it's all about community organizing. It's all about coalition. It's all about bringing like minds together to achieve that dream, that goal. So again, big shout out to those who just recently organized the Good Trouble protest. That's what that looks like. Boots to the roots. Again, people coming together and getting to work. Brother Sherman Wells definitely kind of embodies boots to the roots. If you ask me, man, always pounding the pavement, always doing the good work. Captain Q, Brother Kasim as well. All about boots to the roots, and really all of those out there doing the work. A lot of people doing the work and not really getting the recognition because they're so busy doing the work, head down, plowing through, creating that lane. So again, big shout out to those, man. So many other names come to mind. Brother Myron Pierce, Sister Tamika. We just had again Sister Raquel Henderson. Again, a lot of boots to the roots folks getting down and getting busy, man. So
We got a lot of people occupy that lane. A lot of people
man,
occupy that lane.
man.
So taking care of our own. Urban Survival Club, YBK present Back to School Bash, July 26th, 5 to 7. There it is. It's an example of a boost to the root situation right there. If our babies don't have supplies, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them for them.
That part. Next is teamwork makes the dream work. And when I think of this, I think of the likes already mentioned Empowerment Network, which again is a network bringing people together to make things happen, to create change, but also thinking of individuals like Diane Good Collins, who's a powerhouse, who's a superstar, and bringing people together and creating change through coalition. If you don't know, the 180 Rap Reentry Program, which again is led by Diane Good Collins. We just had the celebration last week. Seeing all those people in the room, yeah.
10-year celebration just happened. Shout out to Metropolitan Community College and the 180 Rap Program, Diane Good Collins. Definitely with the coalition building. I love it.
Yeah, man. And last but not least, in this lane of change is the love supreme. And I will recognize a brother that we lost who truly embodies the love supreme when you think about it. And I'm thinking of brother Alvin Harper, love supreme. Anybody who's spent any time, who's had a conversation, who's just seen the brother walking around, no question that this brother is an artist through and through. Man, love supreme, definitely embodied by brother Alvin Harper. Man, I see y'all. I know y'all had some experiences and interactions with the brother. Rest in peace. Go ahead and share.
Yeah, I was thinking of this brother too because not just embody love supreme, but is the love supreme soldier. Like
Man,
he embodies somebody who was not going to compromise art for any reason, and touched everybody. When my first interaction with him was him sitting in Jesse's place, drawing a picture of me on the drums. I will
man,
always cherish that picture from this brother. And I thought about the last time we interacted with him too, buddy. It was last year. We was over there by Fairdale, and he was out there hanging out, doing some work
Man.
on his saxophones. He had 3 or 4 saxophones around him. He was working on. Yeah, man. It's funny because you run across brothers like this, and you feel like, ooh, this brother's a hidden gem of North Omaha. Ain't so hidden. I'm
Yeah.
seeing post after post after post after post from everybody all around town that have positive things to say and related information about the interactions they had with him and just how much he's touched the community. And this is a very unexpected passing, and the community is shook. One of our Love Supreme soldiers has passed away, and elders and a person in the game that was teaching us to hold on to taking it to the stage like we're supposed to. So yeah, I'm glad that we were able to be able to give him some honor as well. When we think about people that has really affected North Omaha and really touched North Omaha and really been a part of building. This is one of the brothers we think of right here. So it was a shock, but rest in peace. And shout out to all of you that put all your interactions. I love hearing the stories about how you interacted with him. I got lost in it. That's the kind of scrolling I like to get lost in. I was lost in it
Man.
for about an hour reading everybody's stories about the brother. So appreciate y'all.
Yeah, yeah. And beyond that, we opened the show with a Sun Ra clip. So I actually wanted to end the show with a Sun Ra clip. This is also embodying of the Love Supreme vibe and feeling and energy. Again, Sun Ra, a legend, part of the reason why we do this. Space is the place. Season is the inspiration behind it. But this quote, this comment from him embodies why the Love Supreme is so important.
Is due to the music the musicians are playing, that they're forced to play by some who just think of money and don't realize that music is a spiritual language and it represents the people of earth. When musicians are compelled to play anything, it goes straight to the throne of the creator of the universe, and that is how he sees you, according to your music. Because, see, music is a universal language, and what you cause musicians to play, it's what goes to the creator as your personal ambassador, and your person on this planet is.
Love it.
Yes,
The
indeed.
chaos on this planet is from the music that we're playing.
For the album was an ambassador for sure.
If you have
So-
watched the movie Sinners,
Yep, exactly.
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 I'm kind of glad you wasn't on the show when that movie came out because we'd have took three shows to talk about that.
Yeah. But the one scene where they're in the juke joint and the music is transcending from the ancestors to the future, the different cultures. They had the Asian woman dancing. It is how we connect in terms of humanity.
Big time.
Yeah, I actually saw a video and learned that spiders can feel vibrations in music and interpret the energy and emotion in the music from the vibrations that they feel through their legs and the receptors on their legs. There was a video of a spider kind of bouncing up and down to some Bad Bunny, and people were like, "Man, is that spider really dancing?" And you laugh and joke, but when you really think about the power of art, the power of music, and I kind of think about it also, Paul, and just the conversation. You talk about, you're big on people not speaking over each other and having that harmony and that music and just that back and forth, that flow. That's what it's all about. That's what the Love Supreme is about, finding that flow, finding that harmony just amongst each other as humans.
That
Really
rhythm. And I got to say too about Love Supreme, we add that into the lanes of change. It's different from all the other ones. It's journalism, it's activism, it's economic power, it's political power, it's a boost to the roots coalition building. It's all these things that are very, very active things. But then this Love Supreme, which is the seventh one, the spiritual mind of us saying that it's none of that is going to work unless you have the love and the art and the actual things that actually make change. It's no accident that you sat here and listened to Miss Michelle Trosclair go through what she went through and get this feeling of this high academic that is dug deep and knows these things by heart. that she's also a poet, that she's also a art soldier at the same time. There's no it's not a coincidence that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
She would not have the ability to educate people the way she does if she wouldn't be an artist. And what would we want to do if we didn't have the art and the love that comes from the love that builds art and the art that comes from love? And what would we be fighting for if we didn't have that in the first place? So it's really important for us to bring that out, especially because of us being artists ourselves, that kind of put our art down for a second so we can have these real conversations, so we can bring this to the people's attention, that our way of life, our way of being able to love and be art soldiers is being threatened by the society we live in, and we
Man.
got to stand up and do something about it. There is no movement without the soundtrack.
There you go.
There you
There
go.
you go. So, man, just about 5 minutes left in this thing. I feel like that's a good conclusion, or reaching that. How y'all feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great conclusion.
Man,
We are the fabric of this country. We are the tapestry, and it only comes together with vibrant hues of yarns of different cultures and of different people and their experiences and backgrounds, and what we weave. And it comes from the ancestors. We stand on their shoulders. So it's all, we got to come together. We
man.
have no choice in our humanity.
That's it. That's it. So as we continue through this season, we will be exploring each of those lanes of change. We will be dropping some content, talking to people who we feel fit in these lanes, and continue that conversation and outside of the show. So definitely, if you're not a member or subscriber to our YouTube page, make sure you like, share, subscribe, check out our YouTube page, and look out for that content to come throughout this year. But yeah, without further ado, Paul B.
Yo,
Word, how you feeling?
man, I'm feeling really good. It feels really, really at home. Michelle, I hope that we can do this again.
Yeah.
We had talked a little bit about getting back to it. I ain't gonna call it yet because we had to finalize it, but I would love to have you back on a regular basis to really kind of talk about some of these things, if you wouldn't mind, and being a part of
Well,
what you
during
got
the
going on.
summer is when it's at, cause boy, when the school year kick off, I'm there at 8 o'clock in the morning with 7th and 8th graders, and I don't know if you've ever had to deal with 7th and 8th graders at 8 a.m.
It's a handful. It's a handful.
Woo.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting that you're doing that though too, because I always thought if I ever was going to teach, it would be junior high age, 7th and 8th grade. It is the age at which you can catch them.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what
the
I'm saying?
age where, yeah, they're trying to find who they are in the world.
Right.
And
Mm.
there needs to be someone that they can relate to help them help guide them in that process. And, I've developed relationships with my kids, and yeah, I'm a hands-on person.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So I will snatch your child up.
Hey,
The,
it takes
the
a village.
the whole child, like you said, take
The
care of the whole
whole
child,
child.
not just
Oh,
the left
yes,
brain,
indeed.
but the whole child.
But they
Mm-hmm.
feel safe with me,
Yeah.
because they know Miss Trosclair don't play, and they know I'll take a bullet for them in a heartbeat. So, that's real. And our
There you
kids
go.
have to feel that. They have to feel safe.
Man, have to feel that love. That
That's
love
right.
supreme.
Hmm.
Pop says, "Man, what a show! This is another one I will never forget. Love to the three
Man.
Agrios. Thanks for a tremendous show. See you all on Wednesday. Appreciate you, Pops. Wait a minute.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Today's Monday, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Hey man.
Concept of time. All
Hey,
getting lost.
I don't know.
Or day, or
Yeah,
days.
right. I'm I'm just happy to be here. So
Man.
You're looking good there, Paul B.
Yeah.
You're
thank you.
looking good.
Appreciate you so much. I can't wait to continue on having some conversations with you. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. It is a 2-hour show these days here, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can definitely tune in live. If you miss any parts of this show, please go back to YouTube or Facebook and watch it in its entirety. Some
Mhm.
serious gems dropped
Man.
around here right now. So and of course, and I hope that you guys is as happy as I am to have special surprise guest Michelle Trosclair with us again. Three Agrios
Hey.
back with she in the Nanigans. Michelle Trosclair in the house.
Mhm. With a brown.
There you go. Put the girls up for us.
You put a bra on for the occasion. That's what's happening.
I put a bra on for the occasion. I did.
Well,
That
shoot,
means
I
y'all
should have went ahead and
special.
put my bow tie on then, because that's
See?
you dressing up for this. I love it. I love
That's
it.
right. Wait,
Buddy,
I
you
got my
guys,
Frederick Douglass shirt on.
I saw that.
I do
love
like that. I did.
I
Yeah,
got my Frederick Douglass going on here.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. He looks better when I have a bra on.
Yeah, it's that time. It's that time to get up out of here.
I know. Yeah, let me stop.
Ooh, y'all need some shenanigans in your life.
We really do. We really do. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
It truly has been a pleasure being on screen again with you, Miss Michelle. As always, love you. Wishing you the best in Baltimore. Those babies are blessed to have you as a teacher. And yeah, we're blessed to have you back for a moment. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. And that extends all the way out to our chat chimers, our ghost listeners, even the monitoring spirits. We see you. We know you're there. We see you. But again, we appreciate you for tuning in, joining the conversation. Again, tell a friend and tell a friend. First Guy Omaha in the Morning is back. And as well, don't forget, again, we got the Content Creators Camp that's back. So if you'd like to join or you're interested, please email us at firstguyomaha@gmail.com. Also, we got the Chat Charms Kickback coming up within a few weeks. I think about a week or so, actually. So yeah,
August 3rd, yep.
Yeah, man, a little over a week. So again, tap in, check us out. In the meantime, between time, catch the same time, same place, right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. And in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Just want to give a shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. It's always a pleasure. Please do us a favor and bring as many people on as you think would enjoy this conversation and can add to it. We want to hear from everybody that we can and give a voice to anybody who needs it. So shout out to you, Michelle. Again, another special thanks for you coming on. Really appreciate you. We'll catch up soon. Love you. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red